Let us start with prayers. So those of you who know the prayers, you can also recite with me. Others, you can just hear and you can pray within your mind. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha Namaom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you in today's session that we have in this Sunday feast. So for next about 50 minutes or so, we'll discuss on the topic of the power of attitude. So I'm very thankful to all of you for taking out time to come in this session. You know, between a speaker and an audience, who do you think is more important? Speaker. How many think audience is more important? How many think speaker is more important? How many think neither of them? Right, we'll have all the combination. Speaker, audience, both of them, any options for both of them. And then neither of them. So in Sanskrit, there are very wise sayings called as Subhashitam. Subhashitam. Su means very good, very wise. Bhashitam means a saying. Subhashitam. So there is one Subhashitam which goes like this. Kim karishanti vaktaraha yatra shrotana vidyate nagna kshapanaka deshe rajakaha kim karishyati. Kim karishanti vaktaraha. What will the speakers do? Yatra shrotana vidyate, where there is no audience only. You know, if there is no audience only, what are the speakers going to do? You know, and then the example is being given. You know, nagna kshapanaka deshe rajakaha kim karishyati. You know, if someone is a very expert washerman, what does a washerman do? Washes clothes. Washes clothes very nicely in a proper way. But imagine if a washerman goes to a land Nagnakshapanake, where there are ascetics who don't wear any clothes only. You know, in India they are known as Naga Babas. You have heard of Naga Babas? Yeah. So if a washerman goes to a place where it is full of Naga Babas, so what has he got to do with? Can you do anything there? No. So similarly, it is said that actually the sincere seeking audience, that's the life of a discourse or conversation, right? Sometimes a speaker is not able to come in time, or suddenly a speaker has some throat problem. I also have a little bit throat problem today, so that's why I'm taking some mint. So, if a speaker is not able to turn up for the event, then they will make some other speaker. They will put somebody else as the speaker and the program goes on. Imagine for a program, audience only didn't turn up. There is no audience only. So then you may have to cancel the program, and straight away for prasadam. Like that. Because there is just no audience this way. So, yeah, I'm very thankful that all of you eager, sincere souls are here to hear on this topic of the power of attitude. So, I would like to begin with a story. One time, a man went to an elephant keeper, somebody who tames an elephant and keeps the elephant, So the man went there and saw that a very huge elephant of a colossal size. That elephant was tied to a pole with a small rope. The rope did not look like a very strong rope. And the huge elephant was tied there. So he saw that the elephant was trying to sort of get rid of that rope, but he was not able to. Although he was a huge, colossal elephant, so he was trying to little bit, pull it, and then he was, would give up the effort. Again, he would try to pull, and then would give up the effort, So the man was very much surprised. How is that such a colossal elephant, if he gives one jerk, actually the rope should break, it should snap. But how is that the elephant is not able to do? What do you think? The elephant really had that power to snap the rope, but he was not able to, or he was not doing it, Why do you think, what can be the reason that the elephant was not able to snap the rope? Because this also became a curious affair for the man who visited the elephant also. He was going to ask, how is that this huge elephant, you have tied him with a small tiny rope, and then still elephant stays in those shackles? What do you think could be the reason? Although he wants to also. You may feel, okay, the elephant doesn't want only to break the shackle. No, he wants to also. Like that. Yeah?
Because he was accustomed from the childhood.
Okay.
In childhood he was very nice tied, and he remembered.
Okay, yes. So, yes, she knows it. Yes. So the elephant was tied in the childhood, right from childhood the elephant was tied on his leg. And in the childhood the rope was really strong for him. The same rope was very strong for a small elephant. So he tried and he never succeeded as a baby elephant, as a child elephant. So now he's convinced that I cannot break that shackle. He's convinced, the elephant. So although the elephant grew to a colossal size, and he had now huge strength, with just one jerk finished, he will take out the pole itself. But now he is convinced I cannot do it. So although he sort of little bit here, there, he tried, but he never felt that I can do it. And because he never felt he can do it, so he never did it. Like that. So the man explained, the keeper explained to the man, said, this is the reason. The elephant is internally convinced that he can't do it. That's why I don't have any worry. This elephant is not going to leave. So the elephant had developed the attitude. Now the attitude has been developed that I can't do it. It's beyond my power. Finished. So now the elephant is not going to, come out of that conception, that attitude that he has developed. So this small story shows the power of the attitude actually. The way we develop attitude in life, based on that attitude, we see everything and we take the life's decision, priorities completely based on that. This way. So, the dictionary defines attitude as a set of values and beliefs that one develops, and one sees the whole world through that set of values and beliefs. Once one develops, that attitude may be developed by multiple factors, like what kind of childhood one has, what kind of association one has. Association also very much matters in case of attitude. But basically, attitude is that value system, your belief, your whole perception by which you see the whole world. Like the light is there. If I see through black, if I see through green specs, green goggles, I see that's green light. The white light also. But if I see through, the kind of spectacles I wear, goggles I wear, based on that I will see it. So this is how perception colors everything that you see. So that's attitude actually. Winston Churchill used to say that attitude is a small thing that makes a big difference. It's a small thing, but it makes a huge difference, like that. A very famous quotes on attitude, Another quote also you must have heard, that it's not your aptitude, but your attitude that determines your altitude. Some play of words there. It's not your aptitude, but attitude that determines your altitude. Altitude is the, the height, how and what you can achieve in life, like that. They say attitude is something invisible, but that drives every aspect of life, although it is invisible, like that. So that's how it's very important that we live our life with the right attitude. In biblical stories, there is the story of David and Goliath. You have heard of this story? Like as a child, we would also study these stories. David and Goliath. So, this Goliath was a huge warrior from Philistine warrior, and David was very small compared to him from Israel, like that. So, when the soldiers from David's army saw that Goliath, they said that, my God, too big to beat up. They saw too big to beat up. He's so big that it's impossible to beat him. Goliath. And then same person, same warrior, when David saw, he said, too big to miss. He is so big that I'm not going to miss my aim, because he had this slingshot. He went to fight with a slingshot. So he said, too big to miss, because this is such a big aim, so I can take it down easily, like that. So you can see the attitude, both of them, although seeing the same person, Goliath, but how both, meaning the other soldiers and David, they have a different perception. And then we see that with that confidence, David could also defeat Goliath, actually. He defeated this. So this is how attitude in life basically matters so much, So, as far as the 4 aspects of attitude are concerned, that would be my basically major thrust of discussion now. That, when we talk about attitude, so what are the important aspects in that. So I speak on 4 aspects of powerful attitude, right attitude in life. And this can apply to any walk of life, whether it is material aspect of life or spiritual aspect of life. It can apply anywhere. So I have made it into an acronym called as PURE. P-U-R-E. PURE. So PURE stands for an acronym which gives 4 aspects of a right attitude. So it's easy to remember. It has these 4 letters: P, U, R and E. PURE. Like that. Pure attitude, So the first one in that is purposefulness. Purposefulness, The life, when we talk about the attitude, it first begins with life being seen as a full with purpose, purposefulness. Many times people in this world, they might lead a purposeless life, or at best they may have some purposes which keep on changing. I want to achieve this. Once I achieve that, then the next thing, then I achieve next thing. So either, many times people, they might not even have a right purpose itself in the life. Prabhupada would explain, Srila Prabhupada, who is founder of ISKCON, he would say that sometimes people are so fast, they are going very, very fast, and you ask them, sir, but where are you going? No, don't ask, I don't have time. I want to go fast, but where are you going? No time, please. They want to drive so fast, but where are you going? Do you know the purpose of life? Do you know, what, as human beings and as, souls, what are we here in this journey of life? Like that. Now someone may say, well, everyone has got a purpose of his own life. But those purposes keep on changing, right? Somebody may think well, okay, if I get this kind of education, that's the purpose of my life. But as soon as you achieve it, then the purpose changes. Then, whatever, if somebody wants to be a corporate, I want to land up in some big dream company like Google or somewhere, then okay, you achieve it, then finished. No, then the purpose changes. Now the next purpose. So the purposes in this world may be relative, but there is also an absolute purpose to the life. The life itself has also an absolute purpose. In fact, Krishna says something very amazing in Bhagavad Gita. He says that one achieves peace of mind when one understands the purpose of life. Krishna speaks about the peace formula in Bhagavad Gita. Bhoktaram yadna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suradham sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim ricchati. Krishna says, once you understand the purpose of life, then you actually achieve the real peace. Many times people may think if I achieve my goal of life, then I achieve the peace. Once I achieve my goal of life, whatever those different goals that I talked about, getting good education or getting a good partner or getting a good job, I achieve it, then that's it. I would be peaceful. But we see that our mind, from one particular purpose, it moves to the next purpose and next purpose and next purpose. And then it's always going on and on and on, like that. Psychologists talk about frustration by success also, frustration by success, because you succeed, and then when you get that, then the anticipation was much, much higher. But when you get it, then you realize, oh, it's not how I felt. I thought it would have given me a great pleasure, So, in material life, there is this sandwich in which there is a, huge bread below of anticipation, and then another bread which is of, hankering for another goal, and in between lies a thin slice of satisfaction. So you hanker for something, hanker. I want to, like in India, the academic success is very much, everyone is for that, like they value it very much, academic, So you want to crack an exam like GRE and want to go to Stanford University to study or something like that. Even in my childhood, the region I came from, being a state topper was considered to be like, for a student, the dream. You top a state. So in my 12th grade, I became one of the state toppers, like that. And that was like such a goal, we cherished right from childhood, But when I achieved it, on that particular day, some people called and they congratulated, and next day was normal. It was just like any other day actually. I finished. Like the whole effort and the hankering finished within one day. Next day was normal. Like next day nobody was talking also about it. It was just yet another day. So there was so much anticipation. Whatever I experienced that thing. So much of anticipation, and then once that was achieved, but it didn't turn out to be what it promised, like that. And then now the next they said, now you have to get into the top institute, that's the next goal, like that. So Reader's Digest is one of the very good magazines. So I read a very nice quote and it struck me, So this whole aspect of, running for success in this world sometimes can become quite frustrating and quite competitive. So the quote was calling it as a rat race. Rat race. You are into a rat race. A race of rats, everybody trying to get some cheese or something like that. And then the quote said, the biggest problem with rat race is that even if you win the race, you still remain a rat. Like that. Because what happens is you now join another race. First hurdle is crossed, now the second. So even if you win the race, you still remain a rat. Now running for another race. So here we are not trying to discredit material accomplishments. Our purpose is only to tell that the achievement in this world, they are not the end in themselves. They are only the means. They are the means to achieve the ultimate, purpose of life, and realizing ourselves as spirit souls who are here for a purpose, to engage everything of our life, all the successes and everything in Lord's service, So what I'm talking about, the purpose of life, that aspect of purpose of life, it does not reject your material accomplishments. It is not asking you to forego material accomplishments and then just serve God or like that. No. One can utilize all these material accomplishments in a way that one can foster the effort for achieving the ultimate purpose. So we can accomplish everything in material world, but that accomplishment, we can use it in service of God, in connecting people to God consciousness and, becoming an instrument of sharing God consciousness through that success, That's basically what is purposefulness. Srila Prabhupada would give example of achieving, many things in this world. Prabhupada would say, because, when you leave this world, all that you achieve, you have to live here, isn't it? When Alexander the Great was dying, so he said that when you put me in coffin after my death, leave my hands like this. So, the soldiers said, what is this? Why should we leave your hands? They typically are kept like this. Or, you put them inside the coffin. No, he said, you leave them like this, outside the coffin. So they said, Emperor, may we ask, why do you give such an instruction? He said that, I spent my entire life in gaining a kingdom that nobody can win. Such a huge kingdom I won like that. And here I am, when I am leaving now, I am leaving empty-handed. I can't take any of these things with me. So, in order to show that to the world that you come empty-handed and you go empty-handed, that's why you put my hands outside of the coffin. So, the point is that Prabhupada would say also that in this world you need material accomplishments and you achieve them. But at the final end of our journey, we can't take any of those things. So Prabhupada would sometimes compare those accomplishments to like big zeros. But when you know the purpose of life, when you know God consciousness, it is like putting one in front of that zero. So now, if you have two zeros, you put one, it becomes 100. If you have 3 zeros, it becomes 1,000. If you have 4 zeros, it becomes 10,000. So those material accomplishments, when you are also following God consciousness, when you understand the ultimate goal of life, the same material accomplishments would become very valuable. Just like we said, putting that one means you are also conscious and you understand about the goal of life. You understand your sacred duty towards God, and you understand how I should also give time for Krishna consciousness. So when that is done, then all your material accomplishments also, they have a great value, because they are in turn serving also the final purpose of life. So that's basically purposefulness. So God consciousness is not about rejection, it's about connection. You don't have to reject anything, you just connect. That's the meaning of yoga. You connect to the Lord. Yujati iti yoga in Sanskrit. What does that mean? That which connects is known as yoga. So whom does one connect to? We connect to God. That's called yoga. When you connect to God through the process, through the purpose, like that. So that is purposefulness. So this is very important. In our life, if we understand that sacred purpose, that why God has put us here, and if we act according to that, then that life is really meaningful. Socrates would say that an unexamined life is not worth living. He would say unexamined, meaning one examines that actually what's the purpose of life, what's the absolute purpose of life. I may have some relative goals depending on my own situation, but what is that standard and purpose of life per se, as something which the life itself dictates. So that's purposefulness, which is the first factor, first aspect of a powerful attitude, being purposeful. So then we see the next, which is urgency. You for urgency. So urgency, living the life with a sense of urgency. So what does that mean? You are just hastily running around, that kind of. What is living with a sense of urgency? See, Prabhupada was himself, he lived with a great sense of urgency. When people heard Prabhupada, they felt like it's urgent. I should become a devotee. I should practice bhakti. He could very much invoke that sense of urgency in people's lives. He would say that, yes, practice now. Let's perfect our life in God consciousness in this life itself. So the kind of sense of urgency. So as per Vedic scriptures, there is a force of illusion that also works in this world, and that is called as Maya. The name is Maya. Ma-ya. Ma means not. Ya means which is. That which is not is Maya. What does that mean? That means that the force of illusion makes us believe that which is not, makes us believe that, well, this is very pleasurable, but it is not very pleasurable. Or this is the ultimate goal of life, but it is not ultimate goal of life. So that is Maya. And the force of illusion acts differently on different people. Like those who don't have interest in God consciousness, how Maya acts on them, the force of illusion acts on them, is they think, oh, this Krishna consciousness, oh, this is just hocus pocus, this is mythology or something. So I don't have time for it, This is how the force of illusion acts on those who don't have interest in God consciousness, It reinforces such belief. But especially to those who become spiritually inclined, those who become devotees, the same force of illusion, it does not say to them, oh, this Krishna consciousness or God consciousness is just some mythology or hocus pocus. But it says, well, it is important but not urgent. It can wait. There are higher priorities in life. Let's do them first. So Krishna consciousness is nice, it is very good, but it's not urgent. There are some more important things to do in life. So that's how you can say force of illusion acts. And then one may procrastinate. One may postpone the things. Why don't you chant Hare Krishna? Yes, Prabhuji, actually I'm planning, I will chant. Soon I am going to chant. When are you going to chant? I'm thinking right from next month. That you ask next month, so are you planning to chant now? Actually, Prabhuji, just some exam preparation and this thing. And I think just within 2 weeks I will start, like that. So the procrastination, it is important, I know, but that's how the material nature can also trick those who have interest in spiritual life. The procrastination, like that. But Prabhupada spoke about sense of urgency. See, sense of urgency is not like being hasty or something. As I was saying in the beginning. See, when somebody is hasty, one wants to just do things very quickly. And then there is not much quality, right? If you have to do a lot of things one after another, then you may do hastily. And then there is no quality in that. That is called being hasty. But sense of urgency is not hasty. Sense of urgency is you are calmly convinced, calmly convinced that this is it actually. This is the life. This is what components of my life are. I give time for my material aspects, also for spiritual aspects. And you are very serious about it. You are calmly convinced. And you want to pursue the spiritual aspects also seriously. You may not be able to give much time, but whatever you do with seriousness. And you do it with quality. And that is actually a sense of urgency. There was one rishi, a sage in Vedic life. And his name was Lomas Rishi. So this Lomas Rishi, he was a sage. And he was blessed by Brahma that you would have life as many as hairs on your body. You would live for those many years. In Vedic life, you can see that these personalities like Brahma, they can bestow a benediction on you like that. They are the controllers of the universe, and they can bless you with such benedictions. So this Lomas was blessed that you will have life as many years as there are hairs on your body. And his whole body was filled with hairs. That's why he was known as Lomasa. Lomasa or Romasa means filled with hairs, like that. And he was an ascetic, he was a sage, he was a God-conscious person. So when he was doing his meditation, he was just sitting outside and doing meditation. So sometimes it would rain, sometimes there was a scorching heat. So, one of the students came to Lomas and said that, Lomas Rishi, oh sage, why don't you build yourself a cottage, we see that so much of rain, so much of scorching heat. So sometimes it might trouble you so much, so why don't you build yourself a cottage, a hermitage, and you can peacefully inside, you can do meditation. So Lomas Rishi said, actually I would have done that, but there is not enough time. Life is very short. That was his answer. Life is very short. Lomas Rishi said, and the student was, what? Life is short. You have the benediction to live, how many years? As many hairs on your body, and you say life is short. So he said, yes, life is very short. The time will just fly like this. Boom, So we see also in our life actually, although it may appear like a typical human life, like 70, 80, if somebody is healthy, but time goes so quickly, right? We might remember, our past as a child, and then going to school, and then going to college, and then, whatever, getting married, settling in life, and here we are, 60 years old. Time has flown actually. Zoom, you can remember it like in a flash of seconds, but then we realize 40 years. I remember first day in my college when I came in engineering, and how my father, got me the room and everything. He came to help. It's very fresh, vivid memory. And now it has happened before 23 years. 23 years have gone. So, you see, the point here is not to become, paranoid by thinking that, oh, death can come any moment. I can. Sometimes some people are very paranoid. They have a great fear that death can strike any moment. So, the spiritual life is not, it does not talk about the temporary nature of life in the sense of making you paranoid. No. It talks from the sense of making you serious about, your life's priorities, goals, and, what is the time that you give for. Let it be constructive. The Bhagavad Gita speaks about 3 kinds of modes. You must have heard these words: Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. The mode of passion, goodness, and ignorance. See, the temporariness of life, depending on which mode you are in, your reaction to that will be varying. Prabhupada would speak many times about how life is temporary and how death can come at any moment. So somebody may feel like these devotees are very pessimistic. They always talk about death, right? Someone can feel like, hey, why do you people talk about death? Talk about life. Life's good, right? It's so wonderful. This way. See, when spiritualists talk about death and the temporary nature of life and how we don't have much time in this world, it's not for making us, paranoid with fear of death. No. If you are in ignorance, you will become paranoid about death when you hear such things. If you are in passion, the response towards hearing of death will be different. Sometimes people say, life is very short, so chant Hare Krishna. No, so enjoy as much as you can. They'll say, life is very short, so, eat, drink, be merry, enjoy as much as you like, because you never know what's going to be tomorrow. So you see, the temporary nature of life, somebody may hear and may give a very different response. Somebody who is in ignorance, tamoguna, he becomes like, oh, death, I can die anymore. That's like a paranoia of death. But somebody who is passionate, he may think, okay, so let me enjoy as much as possible at this moment. Somebody who is in goodness, Bhagavad Gita says, somebody who is in Sattva Guna, when he sees the temporary nature or she sees the temporary nature of the life, then they think, oh, let me utilize my time in a constructive way, because I have, these sacred years which are given by God to me. Let me use them in a way that can do welfare for myself and everyone else. This way. So that's the sense of urgency that the spiritual life talks about, like that. So as devotees or as spiritual practitioners, we may not think like every moment, oh, death can strike any moment, death can strike any moment. No, we don't have to be. But we can certainly become conscious that actually I have this time, now like I have this 1 hour, next 1 hour for hearing the discourse. So after that I have my own priorities and like that. So let me utilize this time nicely. Let me hear with utmost attention and let me try to understand this message, this sense of urgency. I have this next 1 hour for chanting Hare Krishna. After that, my other priorities of life like work and all will come. So let me utilize this 1 hour in the best possible way. So you become conscious like that when you become spiritually inclined and interested. It brings you a sense of urgency. You'll not while away the time. You know that I have time which is limited. So there is place for recreation. There is place for everything. But the point is, yes, constructive engagement. That's what the sense of urgency means. Chanakya, one of the great moralists, says that Ayushya kshana ekopi na labhyate swarna koti bhi. You lose one moment of life. Suppose you lose some big money. By working hard, you may be able to procure it back. You may be able to achieve it back. But when you lose time, that is lost permanently. With whatever wealth you have, you cannot buy back the time, isn't it? So that's why that sense of urgency addresses that limited resource of time, and one wants to act with that sense of urgency. So this is the second aspect of the attitude that we talked about. First was purposefulness, and second was the urgency. And then the third one talks about resoluteness. Resolute, being very determined in life. See, determination is needed in every walk of life, right? People, even in outside world, they talk so much about determination, being resolute. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika buddhi rekeha kuru nandana Bahushakha hi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam, he says. He says those who are on this path of bhakti, they're very resolute in their purpose, focused like that. So, anywhere, in any walk of life, you will need determination, like that. Srila Prabhupada himself was so determined, right? You know Prabhupada's life, how many difficulties that he faced when he was planning to come to the West, and he was going to preach God consciousness. He struggled in India. He struggled to get a ticket to US, and then while coming he got heart attacks on the Jaladuta, but he was like so determined because he wanted to preach God consciousness. So the point is that determination is needed for everyone, even these great souls like Prabhupada. You see that such a great determination they have. Although they are very special personalities, they are empowered souls. But empowerment does not mean there are no obstacles. Empower means that you have the strength to fight the obstacles. Sometimes we feel like, oh, in my life so many obstacles, like that. If only my life will be free from any obstacles. No, but that won't work. They are there in Srila Prabhupada's life, who is like such a great devotee. But then we see that what is the response to those obstacles? Determination. So similarly, in our life also, whether it is material aspect of our life or spiritual aspect, you may sometimes be a little bit put off by obstacles, by difficulties. Some of us may want to take up spiritual commitment, but there may be some difficulties. But let's be determined. If you are determined, you will eventually find the way through to go ahead like that. So practicing bhakti also may be difficult. It's not like that easy, especially in the Western world, and especially in the current times, right, where we see the political, economical scenarios also could be very challenging. So, spiritual life or keeping that interest also may be challenging sometimes. But if you can maintain that determination, if you can come in association and take that determination, then you would be able to certainly cultivate further interest in spiritual life, like that. Srila Prabhupada was once asked by devotees that, Prabhupada, we are trying to be, sincere devotees, we are trying to surrender unto God, surrender unto Krishna. So why is Maya so strong when we are trying to, serve Krishna? Prabhupada said, your purpose is not strong. That was his answer. If you make a very strong purpose, then you see that the obstacles may be there, but you will cross over them. You will have the enough strength. And Prabhupada was once asked, devotees asked, Prabhupada, what is the best prayer? Prabhupada said, the best prayer is that, you pray to Krishna, that, oh Krishna, please give me strength to go on serving you. He said, not like destroy all the obstacles on my bhakti or like, no. Please bless me with the strength to go on serving you in spite of the obstacles. So we can ask that to the Supreme Lord, please give me strength that in any condition of life I can go on doing my duty and, remembering you also as a sacred part of my, life this way. So that's the aspect of determination. The third one, resoluteness. And then finally is exploration. This is the last one. Exploration. What does this mean? See, many times when we pray to God, so we expect that God fulfills our prayers exactly the way we have asked He should fulfill the prayers. Like that. But know that God may fulfill your prayers, but not exactly in the way you have asked, and also not exactly in the time that you have asked. He wears a different watch. You might be wearing a Rolex or Tissot, but he wears his own watch. So he answers our prayers, but he may answer them as per his own time. And he also may answer them as per his own desire, because he knows what is best for us, right? So we might be shaking a tree and, oh Lord, please, I'm shaking the tree, please give me mangoes. And then you're so much thinking, why mangoes are not coming down? But you see beside there is apple tree and he has given you an apple there. So the point is, yeah, you are hungry, take the apple and eat it. That's the point, right? You may seek mangoes, but he may give apples, because that's what may be good for you. This way. So faith in Supreme Lord, also means being open to the possibilities. That I'm seeking something, but God's mercy can also come in different ways. It can come. It can be anything in life. I'm seeking for a certain career opportunity, and I'm thinking that, God will be merciful to award this particular success in my life. But, He may award, a different, you can say, different dimension of success. It's up to Him. So, if we are open, the openness to that possibility of getting Lord's mercy, that's also a sign of faith. You have faith that yes, He is my well-wisher and He can bestow, certainly bestow, ultimate welfare in my life this way. So this is how the exploration, the spiritual life itself can become a very wonderful adventure when you are looking for the hand of God in your life. So the more you become interested and practice bhakti, the more what I'm saying to you will make sense to you. That how hand of God is acting in our life. and how he is being very kind to you, may not be necessarily in the way that you wanted, but because he knows what is best for you, he is certainly going to do that. That faith is a very great characteristic of path of bhakti. So if one takes up this aspect of faith, then his life will also be a great exploration in God consciousness. So this is how I spoke about 4 aspects of a attitude, of a powerful attitude. Would anyone like to just reinstate this, and then we stop for today? PURE was the acronym, right? So what does P stand for? Yes?
Purpose.
Purposefulness. Yes, that was the first one. We spoke about having the right purpose in life. Yes, what does the U stand for? Urgency. Yeah, understanding that my life, I have this sacred years of my life. Let me utilize it in a constructive manner. What does the R stand for? Resolute. Resoluteness. Being very determined in spite of obstacles, going on, looking at the lives of great souls and seeking that inspiration. And then the final one, E stands for? Exploration. Yeah, you explore, you take the life as an exploration, so then it's an adventure in the service of God. So that's basically perfect, components or aspects of a beautiful attitude, which will make us very hopeful in life and make us go through all the thick and thin. So this is where I want to stop now. We are there also on time. So if there are any questions or any comments Prabhuji would like to make, or please, would you like to ask any questions? We have 5 minutes more. Maybe I can try to answer. Yes, anyone? Yes, bro.
I was wondering if there is a difference in a goal and a purpose. For me, it seems like goals are things which we can achieve in lives and say achieved and give a tick.
Yeah.
But like purpose is something which
long term, and which
so if the Vedas.
Basically, the English words can be defined in various ways, right? These are English words like goal and a purpose. So you can have a short-term purpose and long-term purpose, or you can have a short-term goal and a long-term goal. If you see in Vedic life, there are 2 Sanskrit words called as Shreya and Preya. Shreyas and Preyas, also known as Shreya. So Shreya stands for the ultimate purpose of life, which is to act in the capacity of a humble instrument of God. We are spirit souls and we belong to Supreme Lord and we act in that capacity. That's our ultimate duty. That's called Shreyas. While Preyas is all the different short-term goals of life, as you mentioned. So they could be our educational goals and corporate goals, all other relationships, everything. So that will all fall under Preyas, while the Shreyas stands for the ultimate goal. So Krishna says that, all your Preyas, all your short-term goals, you should go for them. They are needed for life in this world. But you arrange them in such a way that you don't compromise on the Shreyas. Don't run behind prayers so much that you just do away with the Shreyas. You just don't have any time for God. Why? I'm just so busy in life, so I don't have any time for God. So that would be compromising Shreyas at the cost, in fulfilling the prayers. So those are the words, you can see. So what you say makes sense, yes, especially with those precise Sanskrit terms, what you are telling is right. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishes to ask something? Okay. Prabhu, you want to make any comment? Maybe you can add something or... Okay then, I think then we should stop for today here. The next program comes so. there I am on time, 5 o'clock. So I again thank you all very much for your patient listening, and it was a very great pleasure. And I hope to see you more often also. With all of your good wishes, I would be able to come more often now, to this place. Hare Krishna, Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Bhagavan ki. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki. Shri Gaur Nitai ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you.
His Grace Kanai Krishna Prabhu ki. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for giving us very powerful message on the power of attitude. And it was your first time in Switzerland, and we are very looking forward to invite you more. I think everyone can agree. You can also listen to all his lectures which he had this week, very powerfully and very scientifically, also explaining very complicated terms. So please check them out. Just wanted to also inform you before we go to the next program. Just wanted to inform you that this week we have this community. This temple has lost a very valuable member, His Grace Rajamani Prabhu. And he was a very valuable, very long-term member who was a very big supportive pillar to this temple. And tomorrow is going to be his funeral. And if any one of you wants to join and also give support to his family, so please you can contact us and we will give you the details. Hare Krishna. Now I wish you a good prasad.
Thank you. You were talking about the Bhagavatam classes that I did?
Yes. Krishna Temple YouTube channel. Krishna Temple, sorry. And then you can have a live find the recording.
Yes, very in Carthage. I will be also there in December. Like tomorrow I move to France. They have on Sunday and I speak on some Sunday. I speak on some Sunday. When you come to Pune, you can ask for Kanai Krishna Dasa. That's my name.
Kanai Krishna Dasa.
Kanai.
K-A-N-A-I-N. Kanai Krishna.
So they will connect you. Thank you. I believe the train is I'm learning to reach everybody else. I should learn from you. How do you sort of make a more engaging conversation? That's what we are used to do. They will hear, and in the end they will ask questions. They hear, maybe I have to also. It's like you learn to both devotees and
the newcomers.
yeah, exactly.
I told her I'm not in the Middle East. Should I call
survived and thrived.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know.